أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم 2 فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغن عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون. سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون. وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون. والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم. والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم. لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون. وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون. وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين. وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون. وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين. وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين. ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين. ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون. ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون. قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون. إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون. فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون. إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم. وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم. ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون. هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون. اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون. ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون. ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون. ومن نعمره ننكسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون. وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم ير الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الفاتحة.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله والحمد حقه كما يستحقه حمدا كثيرا، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين شفيع المذنبين رحمة للعالمين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد واللعنة الدائمة الباقية على أعدائهم أجمعين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وجعلنا منهم أئمة يهدون بأمرنا لما صبروا وكانوا بآياتنا يوقنون. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. My dear elders, brothers and sisters in Islam and Iman, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It gives me great pleasure to extend to you, my elders, my brothers, my sisters, on this auspicious birthday anniversary of our 10th Imam, Imam Aliyun Naqi alayhi salam, my Mubaraki felicitations and greetings, and I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal to bless you all and to fulfill all your hajat by the wasila of our 10th Imam alayhi salam. This week we heard the sad news of the bomb blast, or of the blast, in Beirut, and thousands of people have suffered because of this. The latest figures talk about more than 100 people dying and about 5,000 people who are injured. And it is a sad occasion, a sad incident. Even our great Marja, Ayatollah al-Uzma, Sayyid Ali Husseini Sistani, has sent his condolences to the people of Lebanon, and at the same time has appealed to mu'mineen and those who are able to support those who have been affected by this blast in any manners that they can. So mu'mineen and mu'minat, we remember also those people who are suffering today in Beirut and those who have been affected by this incident, and whatever we can, try to help them in any way. We should try to help them. Elders, brothers and sisters, today's program has been organized by the Al-Hur Society, which is a part of the young people of our community here in Peterborough, and they have organized this program, this Thursday program. It will be followed by question and answer program, inshallah. So the Du'a Kumail and Ziyarat Waritha, inshallah, will be after the Salat. So we request you to keep on tuning and being part of this program. For this short discussion that I am going to present just now, I want to make 3 points from the life of Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam, and it is important that we do understand each of these points. The first point is regarding the knowledge of Imam Ali al-Hadi alayhi salam. The second point is about his teaching regarding Tawheed. And the third one is about his preparation for the Shias to know about the 12th Imam and to prepare for the occultation, for the ghaibah of the 12th Imam. So beginning with the first point regarding the knowledge, let me explain here an incident which is quoted in the book Ma'athir al-Kubara fi Tarikh Samarra. This has been written by Sheikh Zabihullah Mahallati in his book volume 3. He mentions this incident regarding our 10th Imam. After the martyrdom of our 9th Imam, the ruler, the Abbasi ruler at that time, Al-Mu'tasim, decided to do something with our 10th Imam. Our 10th Imam was very young. According to some historians, 6 years old. According to some historians, 8 years old, but not more than 8 years old. Imam was still a child. And he put a plan into action. He wanted someone to teach our 10th Imam, and that person who would be teaching our 10th Imam would be an enemy of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. So his plan was that he would appoint a teacher who would fill into the heart of our 10th Imam enmity towards his ancestors, towards his family. So he appointed a person by the name of Umar al-Faraj, and Umar al-Faraj was told to go from Samarra to Medina, and in Medina look for a teacher, and that teacher would then teach our 10th Imam. When he arrived in Medina, he consulted the governor of Medina and the other people, and they all came up with one name by the name of Al-Junaidi. Al-Junaidi was called, he was explained, and he was asked to undertake this task. Al-Junaidi was an arch enemy of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. He hated Ahlul Bayt of the Holy Prophet. When Al-Junaidi was appointed and our 10th Imam began his lessons, after some time, Muhammad bin Ja'far met Al-Junaidi on the way, on the roads of Medina, and Muhammad bin Ja'far asks him a question: what do you say about that boy whom you are teaching? And at that time, Junaidi became angry and he said, don't say that boy, or don't say some sheikh, because you know that in Medina there is no person more learned than me regarding the literature and regarding knowledge of Arabic. And Muhammad bin Ja'far said, yes, we all accept that you are the most learned person regarding this literature and Arabic language. But Al-Junaidi said, when I explained to him, and I think that I have explained him everything, he starts explaining to me and opening the other doors for me regarding the same subject that I am teaching him. So it is not me who is teaching him, it is me who is learning from him. Having said that, both of them separated, went their own way, but the teaching continued. Again, after some time, Muhammad bin Ja'far meets Al-Junaidi and asks him the same question. And Al-Junaidi says, what are you talking about? I tell him that whenever he wants to enter the room, he should enter the room, before entering the room, recite a surah of the Holy Quran. And when I tell him, he asks me whether I should recite a small chapter of the Holy Quran or a long chapter of the Holy Quran. And when I tell him whatever you want to recite, he would recite a long chapter of the Holy Quran. And Al-Junaidi says he recites it in such a voice that even Nabi Dawood's voice would not stand or match in front of that. Nabi Dawood was known for his beautiful voice. But here, Junaidi says he had such a nice voice and he recites in such a way, such a beautiful way. But I want to tell you also this, that he also knows about the revelation of the Holy Quran, and he also knows about the interpretation of the Holy Quran. Junaidi then tells Muhammad bin Ja'far, I have learnt a lot from this boy whom you say is a boy, but it is me who is learning from him. This person who was an enemy of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, in his connection and association with our Imam at this very young age, became an ardent lover of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. That enmity that he had went away from his heart, and that was filled with love of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. My dear elders, brothers and sisters, it is very difficult to explain to people as to how a person at this young age would be able to challenge a person who was a well-known scholar of Medina. But it is our belief as followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, that A'immah Tahirin alayhimus salam, who are the Imams, those who have been appointed by Allah, have also been endowed with knowledge by Allah Azza wa Jal. And not only that, the Imam of the time is the most knowledgeable of all the people in the world. So coming about to the knowledge of Imam, we know that they received this knowledge from Allah Azza wa Jal. This is ilmul ladunni. This is a knowledge that comes directly from Allah Azza wa Jal. So this was the first point where we talk about Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam. We now come to the second point, and in this second point, when I want to explain about the teachings of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam regarding the belief in monotheism. Let me first here give an explanation about what is called Ziyarat al-Jami'ah. Ziyarat al-Jami'ah, which has been taught by our 10th Imam. Highly recommended that we should continuously be reciting Ziyarat al-Jami'ah. At the same time, there is that recommendation of Salatul Layl coming together. And Ziyaratul Jami'ah, you look at it, it has been mentioned that by Muhammad bin Ismail Barmaki, who narrates that Musa bin Abdullah al-Nakha'i says that one day I went into the presence of the 10th Imam, and I told the 10th Imam, teach me a saying, qawlan, right? So I've translated qawlan into saying, but it was something which he expected, or he wanted something where he says to Imam, teach me a saying which is eloquent and it is full, which I should recite or say when I visit one of you. So it's not only the 10th Imam, but if he goes to visit Imam Ali alayhi salam in Najaf, meaning the Haram or the grave of Imam Ali alayhi salam, or to Karbala to visit the grave of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he said, what should I say? He was expecting a ziyarah. And it is at that time that Imam Ali al-Hadi alayhi salam taught him what is now known as Ziyarat al-Jami'ah. And part of that Ziyarat al-Jami'ah is, and this is where I want to explain as to, if we want to reach to Allah Azza wa Jal, if we want to make our association with Allah Azza wa Jal to be strong, then we should go to the gate of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. We should look at the life of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Here in part of Ziyarat Jami'ah, there are few sentences that I want to mention. I hope that I will not bore you with this, but it is important. Imam says, فَعَظَّمْتُمْ جَلَالًا, you honored his glory. وَأَكْبَرْتُمْ شَأْنَهُ, you exalted his standing, that is the greatness of Allah Azza wa Jal. وَمَجَّدْتُمْ كَرَمًا, you glorified his generosity. وَأَدْمَنْتُمْ ذِكْرًا, you kept his remembrance. وَوَكَّدْتُمْ مِيثَاقًا, and you confirmed his covenant. وَأَحْكَمْتُمْ عَقْدَ طَاعَتِهِ, and you confirmed his obedience. وَنَصَحْتُمْ لَهُ فِي السِّرِّ وَالْعَلَانِيَّةِ, and you were sincere to him secretly and openly. وَدَعَوْتُمْ إِلَى سَبِيلِهِ بِالْحِكْمَةِ وَالْمَوْعِظَةِ الْحَسَنَةِ, and you called unto his way with wisdom and good exhortation. وَبَذَلْتُمْ أَنفُسَكُمْ فِي مَرَضَاتِهِ, you sacrificed yourselves in order to please him. وَصَبَرْتُمْ عَلَى مَا أَصَابَكُمْ فِي جَنْبِهِ, and you were patient with what afflicted you. Whatever you used to do for Allah Azza wa Jal, And whenever difficulties came upon you, you were patient at that time. The last part I want to mention here is, and this is where I've explained as to how strong they were in their belief to Allah Azza wa Jal. وَأَقَمْتُمُ الصَّلَاةِ وَآتَيْتُمُ الزَّكَاةِ وَأَمَرْتُمْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَنَهَيْتُمْ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. This is one sort of phrase that we recite in Ziyarat Waritha. This is one phrase that comes mostly in the ziyarah of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And here we are talking about all the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, that they established prayer, they gave zakat, but they enjoined good and forbade evil. After Mu'tasim came Mutawakkil. Mutawakkil who disliked Shi'as. Mutawakkil who loved the pleasures of this world. Mutawakkil who was a very cruel person. That Mutawakkil once called Imam Hadi alayhi salam at time of night when there was a party going on, and in that party there was drinking and there were women who were dancing and there were people who were singing, and Imam is called. Imagine, think about how it affected the ruh of our Imam. But Imam was called. And at that time, in that situation, in very short, I want to explain about their strong belief in Allah Azza wa Jal. At that time, Imam did not respect Mutawakkil, nor was Imam having any fear of Mutawakkil. Immediately he applied what we say in ziyarah, وَنَهَيْتُمْ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. Immediately at that time, Imam taunted and told Mutawakkil of the wrong that he was doing and reminded him of the hereafter, that is enjoining him to come towards good, remember the hereafter. And Imam made this in a form of a poem to Mutawakkil, explaining that how strong their connection was with Allah Azza wa Jal. My dear elders, brothers and sisters, I want to relate these sentences of Ziyarat Jami'ah to today's life, that if we really want our life to be that of having a meaning, and really that too would take us, give us salvation in this world as well as in the hereafter, it should be that strong association with Allah Azza wa Jal. It is so important that our belief in Allah Azza wa Jal should be increasing day by day. So that's my second point. And coming to the third point, we want to discuss about how did Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam prepare the Shi'as for the 12th Imam. The belief in Mahdi, our 12th Imam, Ajjalallahu Farajahu Sharif, this is something which has been mentioned from the time of the Holy Prophet, coming down up to the time of our first Imam, second Imam, third Imam, all the Imams. From that time up to the time of 11th Imam, what they did was that they used to tell the people, prepare the people, give them information of the coming of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. But during the imamat of our 10th Imam, that period by which Imam was now going to go into occultation. In the ahadith we find about Ghaibat al-Sughra, we find about Ghaibat al-Kubra. Now Imam had to prepare them. And in order to prepare them, Imam followed 3 points, or prepared his strategy on 3 points. Number one, he followed what his ancestors, the previous Imams, did, and that was to inform the Ummah about Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Give them information, who he was, What was he going to do? He is known as al-Qa'im. So you will find a hadith where Imam is explaining. So from the 10th Imam you find the hadith that says that this Imam, al-Qa'im, is going to be my grandson. So Imam is informing them that I'm going to have a son, who is going to have a son, and that son is going to be al-Qa'im. So the first point was, like the other Imams, he prepared the Muslim Ummah, informing them of the Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. The second strategy Imam used was that he wittingly, that is with wisdom, with sagacity, and sometimes compulsorily, disassociated himself from his Shi'as. The Abbasi Khalifa did not want that connection between the Shi'as and the Imams. So sometimes Imam, by purpose, did not meet their Shi'as. Sometimes from wisdom point of view, they would, for example, Imam would be behind the curtain and the Shi'as would come. They would not be able to see the Imam, but they would be able to communicate with the Imam. So Imam started putting this into practice, not allowing the Shi'as to have a direct connection, seeing together or seeing him directly. So this was second, in order to prepare them that a time is now going to come when you will go into occultation. When Imam will go into occultation and you are going to witness that period. At that time, how are you going to react? And then the third point which Imam did was that he strengthened the network of wukala. Just now is not the point to give you a history of wukala, but I just want to mention one point, that regarding the wukala, this system was started from the time of our 6th Imam, right? So that people would start recognizing as to who are the representatives of Imam. You will also come into history to note that some of the wukala of some Imam misuse their positions. But Imam al-Hadi al-Islam started making and giving more responsibilities, telling the Shi'as, if you have questions, send your questions to the Wakil, and then the Wakil would send the questions to the Imam. So strengthening the wukala, don't bring your hukuk directly to me, give it to the wukala. Imam started strengthening the network of the wukala so that wukala people would get used to meeting with the wukala. In our present time, it is important that our association with our marja, who is the representative, they are not representative of the special or khas representatives, but those whose taqleed we do, they are representative of our 12th Imam, and it is important that we sort of have connection with him. We should try and understand these great scholars who have spent their times, who have spent their years doing studies. I myself witnessed, we can say about maybe about 6 or 7 or 8 years ago, when Ayatollah al-Uzma Sayyid al-Husseini Sistani had come here for his treatment, and I had opportunity of meeting with him. And when I went there, right, and when I saw, what did I see? I saw that there was a book there. Even at that time, reading of the books, I was told that even when he was in the hospital, he asked for the books so that he could continue reading the books. So ulama keep on increasing their knowledge, keep on knowing about what is happening in the world, and they keep this knowledge, and that's why our association with the Maraje should be very strong. We should consider them that they are those scholars who are providing us guidance in the absence of our 12th Imam. So Coming here to the end of this speech or to the end of this majlis, I want to take the opportunity to pray to Allah Azza wa Jal, and I request you, my dear elders, brothers and sisters, join me in this dua that we pray to Allah Azza wa Jal. Especially, number one is for all the people who are suffering in the world today, whether they are in Yemen, whether they are in Palestine, and those who have been afflicted here in Beirut and other places of the world. Ya Allah, relieve them of their difficulties. Ya Allah, we pray to you by the wasila of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad to forgive all our marhumin. I request you and I pray to you, Ya Allah, that for all the mu'minin and mu'minat who are suffering from one or another illness, and especially those who are suffering from COVID-19, Ya Allah, grant them complete and quick recovery. Ya Allah, we pray to you for the protection of our ulama so that they can continue to guide the Muslim ummah. And I pray to you, Ya Allah, to hasten the reappearance of the Imam of our time, Imam Sahibul Zaman, Ajjalallahu Farajahu Sharif, wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina wa Nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin al-ma'sumin. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, I would like to facilitate and congratulate everyone on the auspicious birth of Imam Ali Naqi alayhi salam to all the mu'mineen. Secondly, this qasida was last minute sort of preparation because I was told last minute to recite. So I've chosen Imam Hussein's qasida where the month of Muharram is coming up, so I thought it would be more ideal to recite by Imam Hussain alayhi salam's fazilat. So this qasida basically is saying that what has been created for Imam Hussain. हुई है खल्क ये दुनिया हुसैन की खातिर, हुई है खल्क ये दुनिया हुसैन की खातिर, हुई है खल्क ये दुनिया हुसैन की खातिर। इमाम असर है जिंदा हुसैन की खातिर, हाँ हुई है खल्क ये दुनिया हुसैन की खातिर। कहा रसूल से रब ने न सर उठाना भी, तुम्हारी पुश्त पे बैठा हुआ है इब्ने अली, बढ़ा दो आज ये सजदा हुसैन की खातिर, हुई है खल्क ये दुनिया हुसैन की खातिर, हुई है खल्क ये दुनिया हुसैन की खातिर। कहाँ वो नूर सरापा, कहाँ मकान मेरा, शरफ ये फर्श अज़ा से मुझे नसीब हुआ कि मेरे घर आ गई ज़हरा हुसैन की खातिर, हुई है खल्क ये दुनिया हुसैन की खातिर, हुई है खल्क ये दुनिया हुसैन की खातिर। मुबाहिले का असर देख लिया कर्ब बला में, वहब की माँ तुझे सलाम पहुँचे कायम का, खुदा को दे दिया बेटा हुसैन की खातिर। हाँ हुई है खल्क ये दुनिया हुसैन की खातिर, हुई है खल्क ये दुनिया हुसैन की खातिर। सिला हुसैन की मादर से उसको ऐसा मिला, हर एक शहीद ये मरकद में कर रहा है दुआ के मौत आए दोबारा हुसैन की खातिर। हाँ हुई है खल्क ये दुनिया हुसैन की खातिर, हुई है खल्क ये दुनिया हुसैन की खातिर। खुदा का शुक्र तकल्लुम नसीब वाला हूँ, मैं अपना मकसद तख्लीक याद रखता हूँ, है सांस सांस मेरी हुसैन की खातिर। हाँ हुई है खल्क ये दुनिया हुसैन की खातिर, हुई है खल्क ये दुनिया हुसैन की खातिर, हुई है खल्क ये दुनिया हुसैन की खातिर। If I could kindly request all of you to
Mu'mineen program at our Hussein Islamic Center on Friday, the 7th of August. Mu'mineen will be commemorating two Chalisma Majlis. The first Majlis will be the Chalisma Majlis for the Saleh Sawab of Maroom al-Hadi Raza Hussain Bhai Muhammad Ali. So the Chalisma Majlis for the Saleh Sawab of Maroom Bashir Bhai Sher Ali Ladak of Dar es Salaam. Mu'mineen, the program commences at 7:40 p.m. with recitation of Surah Yasin, followed by Marshia. Thereafter, Majlis by Mullah Muhammad Qasim Ali Sahib. The program will be live on our HIC TV. Mu'mineen are humbly requested to tune in. Mu'mineen Hajri Majlis Abdul Bahir ji taraf thi, Maruma Zainab by Sher Ali, Gulam Hasham Hirji family na Marumeen, Karmali Hasham Pira Wali family na Marumeen, Marum Raza Bhai Tar Bhai, Marum Onali Bhai Damji તથા કુલ મરુમીનના ઈસાલે સવાવર્તે રાખવામાં આવેલ હતી. સર્વેને દરખાસ્ત કરવામાં આવે છે કુલ મરુમીનના ઈસાલે સવાવર્તે સૂરે ફાતિહા. બિસ્મિલ્લાહિર્રહમાનિર્રહીમ.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to Al-Hadi's first Thursday Majlis that we've finally organised. We hope you all enjoy this Q&A as much as we have had organising it. So today's Q&A is based on after the arrival of the 12th Imam, and we've had quite a few questions coming in, and we're joined today with Mullah, and it's been and inshallah so I'm Sayada and I'll be your host for today, and we're lucky to be joined by Mullah, who will facilitate today's Q&A. And so today's Q&A is based on the arrival of after the arrival of the 12th Imam, and we will start off with Mullah by giving us a brief introduction.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. First and foremost, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Al-Hur Society for organizing this first Thursday program, and I pray inshallah that they will be able to organize such programs in future also. And I know it is not very easy to organize programs where you have to request people to participate, to recite something, but this is how we work and we build up our services and our contribution in the community. Elders, brothers and sisters, I want to thank also Al-Hur Society for inviting me to this program. I would be saying that I have put myself on the gallows now in order to answer to the questions that have been are going to be coming forward regarding after the reappearance of our 12th Imam. So let me begin by mentioning few ahadith in order for us to set this ground to understand as to what is going to happen after the 12th Imam. So we come to the hadith. This is from the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam, and this is in the book Muntakhab al-Athar by Ayatollah Lutfullah al-Safi Gulpaigani. In his book he says, my 12th descendant, this is the Prophet saying, my 12th descendant will disappear in such a way that he will not be seen at all. That's first indication. There will come a time when there shall remain nothing but a name from Islam. So we understand from this hadith that Islam will just remain a name. Muslims will be Muslims by name only. When it comes down to actions, we will find very, very few. And then Prophet says, and there shall remain nothing but a trace from the Quran. Quran will just be for purpose of reading, for listening, but not for reflection, not for action. At that time, Allah Azza wa Jal will permit him, that is the 12th Imam, to revolt, and through him God will reinforce Islam and revive it. So understand, Islam will be revived with the coming of the 12th Imam. Okay? A similar hadith that has been mentioned in the book Kashful Ghummah, in which this hadith is from our 6th Imam, where he says, when our Qa'im, that is the 12th Imam, Ajjalallahu Farajahu Sharif, arises, he will call people anew to Islam, guiding them to the old thing from which people have turned away. An old thing over here meaning from the true teaching of Islam. He will be called Mahdi because he will guide people to the thing from which they have been separated. He will be called Al-Qa'im because he will be commanded to establish the truth. So from these 2 points, we come to understand that our 12th Imam will come to revive Islam, and he will come to establish the truth. Okay? This short introduction, we will go to the first question.
Okay, so the first question was, what will happen when he arrives? So like, what will be good about when he arrives, and what will the bad stuff happen when he arrives?
Okay, so what will happen when he will arrive. Okay. Now, we can imagine a lot of things. Let me share with you, there was a neighbor, a mu'min brother, and really a pious mu'min brother, quite old. I'm talking about Nairobi, and we used to have discussion. And there is one tradition that says that when our 12th Imam will reappear, then he will come with Zulfiqar. And he used to tell me that, look, today, what will one sword do? Okay, and well, today in the world today there is atomic bombs and other kinds of weapons that are there that can destroy the people very easily, right? What will one sword and those who will be with Imam, how will they be able to face an army who will be equipped with the latest arms, right? I did not reply him at that time. I was still young, still learning, but these were the thinking, right? Or his other question was, when is the 12th Imam going to reappear? And you're talking about at the time when in Iraq there was so much of dhulm. And believe me, my dear elders, brothers and sisters, all of those who are viewing this, if you go to the history of Iraq during the time of Saddam, you will shiver when you hear about how the Shias, the followers of Ahlul Bayt, were treated by Saddam. Okay? So he used to tell me at that time, as to so much dhulm going on in the world today, when will the 12th Imam reappear? Okay? Now we start imagining as to what is the situation, how is it going to happen, anything good, anything bad, what is going to happen. Let me quote one tradition here from our 5th Imam. Okay? And I think I will be able to answer that question partly and try to understand as to what is going to happen. There was one companion of our 5th Imam, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir al-Islam. His name was Fadl bin Yasser. Okay? He says that I heard from our 12th Imam, from our 5th Imam, when our Qa'im, right? When Qa'imuna, when our Qa'im, that is our 12th Imam, rises, he will face so much difficulty from the people. Right? So remember this one point. He will face so much difficulty from the people that even the Prophet during the period of Jahiliyyah did not face. So Imam will face difficulties. Fadl asked, why should that be so? Now he's thinking in that time, is why would our 12th Imam face difficulties from the people? The Imam said, when the Prophet was appointed, people worshipped idols, people worshipped stones and wood. However, when our Qa'im arises, people will interpret the ordinances of God against his interpretation. That is, people will be making their own interpretation about the laws of Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay? And will argue with him and dispute by means of the Quran, by God. The justice of Al-Qaim will enter inside their homes just as the heat and cold enter them. This hadith of Imam explains to us that when our 12th Imam comes, it will not be all easy for 12th Imam. That he will come and he will do some sort of a miracle, that suddenly the whole world, where there has been a lot of what we say oppression, injustice, racism, discrimination, and all these things, will suddenly, by one miracle of the 12th Imam, boom, disappear. And then you will find there, oh, there is peace, there is justice, no more racism, no more discrimination, people are on equivalent. No, it's not going to happen like that. Our 12th Imam, when he reappears, okay, he will first face those difficulties. Okay. Now the question that arises here, before I request our host to ask the second question, is for us to ask that during that difficult time, so I'm asking this question to myself, and each individual should ask the question to themselves, is that in such situation when there will be so much opposition to 12th Imam, are we going to tell the 12th Imam, "Oh Imam, when you have established yourself, then I will join you"? Or will we say, "Imam, we are with you"? It's time to reflect upon this. Second question.
Okay, so the next question is the 12th Imam's army used to fight the Dajjal, or is it used to fight evil? And in what way?
Okay. So we have the hadith that talks about Dajjal appearing, and he will have an army, and whether the 12th Imam is going to fight Dajjal or is he going to fight evil. When you look at the ahadith, there is, first of all, let's go to Surah Al-Anbiya, verse number 105. وَلَقَدْ كَتَبْنَا فِي الزَّبُورِ أَنَّ بَعْدَ الذِّكْرِ يَرِثُهَا الْأَرْضِ عِبَادِيَ الصَّالِحُونَ. But the translation which we have is, for we have written in the Psalms, that is in Zabur, after the remembrance, the earth shall be in the inheritance of my righteous servants. So if we understand this point, that this Imam is going to fight against the Dajjal, or is he going to fight against the evil? Imam is going to fight against that oppression. Imam is going to fight against racism. Imam is going to fight against all the wrongs that are happening. Interestingly, you will find that there are ahadith that talks about what the 12th Imam is going to do. Okay? So we find that the hadith says, يَمْلَأُ الْأَرْضَ قِسْطًا وَعَدْلًا كَمَا مُلِئَتْ ظُلْمًا وَجَوْرًا. يَمْلَأ meaning he will fill. Okay? Al-Ard meaning the earth. Okay? يَمْلَأُ الْأَرْض قِسْطًا وَعَدْلًا. Qist is that moderation, that balance, that equity. So 12th Imam is going to establish that. And he will establish it with justice. Okay? كَمَا مُلِئَتْ ظُلْمًا وَجَوْرًا. As it was filled with dhulm, injustice, and jawr, that is again oppression. Okay? So when you look at the question, right, whether he's going to fight Dajjal or, okay, maybe Dajjal is symbol of all this, evil, racism, and all these things. And Imam will fight against them in order, coming back to that hadith, to establish the truth, where Imam says, Imam will be commanded to establish the truth. That is Islam, and Islam encompasses all this. I hope that answers the question.
So would you say that, so you know there's like these talks going around that there's this one-eyed child that was born and they name it the Dajjal. Would you say that that's just a conspiracy, or maybe it's not?
I personally, if you were to ask me about this question, to me that is conspiracy, and I do not have any proof. No, I have not seen any proof. So I can't say whether it is true or it is not true. one-eyed Dajjal. Yes, it is being talked about.
Yeah.
Someone has even made a theory out of it to say that it is one organization, and that organization is against all religions, not against Islam, but against all religions. And when you find the present situation, and I think that was one important point I was trying to mention in this majlis just now, is that if you look at all the religions today, okay, we believe, yes, that Islam is the true religion, and we believe with conviction, and we have the proof of it. But we find that absence of that spirituality. And that absence is absence of our communication with Allah Azza wa Jal. So we take an example, right? So let me just take, for example, take myself to say, when do you remember Allah, right? Oh yeah, I remember Allah when I'm in difficulties, okay? Now this situation tells us that we sort of are using Allah as someone to bargain with, and to say, Ya Allah, I'm in difficulties, right? I remember people, and when you read to some other religions, or some university students who say, oh God, if I pass in the examination, then I'm going to give this much amount of money to help the poor and all this thing. Once he passes, all right, he may give the money, but then after then it is Khuda Hafiz. All right, so this is the important point, and this is my point to especially the younger people. Look, this is the time. This is your age just now to build up that communication with Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay? So remember that there is that movement to remove God from the hearts of all the people, right? And there will be people who are affected by that, and there will be people who will become stronger and stronger the more they see about what is happening in the world, and they say, no, we must, what we say, associate ourselves strongly with Allah Azza wa Jal. So when we talk about Dajjal, that theory about it's an organization that will fight, maybe that whole group will be standing in front of 12th Imam. There are many ahadith, and it is not very easy to sort of interpret in our own ways to say it is going to like this, it's going to happen like this. No. We need to understand that what our 12th Imam is going to come and do.
Okay. Thank you so much. So the next question was that they say that when the 12th Imam comes, he'll come with Prophet Isa, so Jesus. So someone asked, when will he come? So will he come straight away with the 12th Imam, or will it take some time? Or
okay, first of all, it is a fact that our 12th Imam will come, right? So this is in our hadith, it is mentioned. And when he will come, when he will reappear, he will consider the 12th Imam to be the leader. Okay? So there is one hadith that says that the time of prayer will come, and Nabi Isa alayhi salam is going to ask our 12th Imam to lead the prayers. So in other words, a person who is Imam, okay, and this is one of important things, that person who is leading the prayer. Even when we talk about the ordinary, what we say, salat, ordinary meaning that person who is leading Salatul Jama'ah, there are some specific qualities. It is not that we can make any person stand there and say, okay, lead the prayer. No, there are some qualities, okay? And so, for example, one of the qualities is that the person who is leading the salat, I'm talking about the normal Salatul Jama'ah, his qira'ah should be better than the qira'ah of the others. Meaning, when he recites Suratul Hamd and the other surahs and the other dhikr of salat, his qira'ah should be better. Of course, there is the question of adalat, that he is a righteous person. All these qualities are there. So when the 12th Imam will come, Nabi Isa will himself ask the 12th Imam that you lead the prayer and I will pray behind him. The Ahadith says that he will not be there, he will not be coming immediately there. All right? So it is going to take time. What time? Allah knows. Okay? But he will come after Nabi Isa, after our 12th Imam, and he is going to assist our 12th Imam in his task.
Thank you so much. Okay, so the next question is, when the 12th Imam does come, where will he go first and why will he go to that location first?
Okay, there are several ahadith. One hadith that I want to mention is that when our 12th Imam will reappear, one hadith says that he will reappear on the eve of, or on Laylatul Qadr. Yeah. Okay? But at that time, people will not know about his reappearance.
Okay.
Right? So that is mentioned, and he will be in Kufa. Okay. Right? I can only try to, what we say, explain that the possible reason why it would be Kufa would be that, of course, Najaf today we know that is the center. Okay, there are so many seminaries and hawzas going on, and we also know that Kufa was the center of, or the capital of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Okay, so possibility is there, one of the possible reasons. Okay, but the hadith also mentions that on the day of Ashura, he will be standing with his back behind the wall of Kaaba, all right? And then it is at that time he is going to announce that, Ya Ahl al-Alam, right? O people of the world, I am the Mahdi, right? I am the awaited one. And then after that, in a sort of way, Imam will present his agenda, connecting himself with his grandfather, Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And he will then, it says, Ya Ahl al-Alam, O people of the world, my grandfather Hussein was killed mercilessly and was not given water for 3 days. He was thirsty, atashanan. He was killed, atashanan meaning killed, thirsty. And then he will also narrate as to how his body, the body of his grandfather was trampled. Okay? So Imam Hussein alayhi salam fought against evil, right? He did not fight against Yazid. Yeah. He fought against evil, and that evil that was being brought by Yazid. So that will also go to the answer to that question, whether he'll fight evil or Dajjal. Imam is going to fight. So he's connecting, right? That look, this is the reason why my grandfather gave his life. And we have been sent in this world to establish Allah's kingdom on this earth. Imam Ali alayhi salam had little time. Okay, the Prophet ruled over Medina for some time, and then came Imam Ali alayhi salam, and he ruled over the Muslims for 4 years and some months. But after that, no other Imam has had that opportunity, and therefore this is where we have come from. And Allah Azza wa Jal has said that a time will come, and He mentions this in Quran, not at one, but at 3 places where He mentions in the Holy Quran to say that Islam will have prevailed over all other religions, which has not happened, will happen during the time of our 12th, or reappearance of the 12th Imam.
Thank you, that really helped with that answered the question. The next one was, will the 12th Imam travel to different countries to spread Islam?
I have not actually come across any tradition where I have read, right? So it does not mean that it's not there. It could be there. Yeah. But I haven't come, and I would say I don't know the answer to that. However, I want to make one point over here, and that is that When we talk about universal rule, right? So think about, I'll bring you back to Al-Hur society, and if you are the leader of Al-Hur society, and you have to organize such a program, and you know how difficult it has been. Okay? One program on a Thursday for 2 hours. Okay? And this is not even making judgments, providing economic guidance, providing social guidance, providing religious guidance. Nothing. It's for you to organize. Think about how Imam is going to have a universal rule. How is he going to establish? So we have explanation about this, and that is that Imam will have representatives in every part of the world. Okay. But these are those who are truly, what we say, loyal to Imam, to Islam, to Quran, okay? And everything that they are going to do, they will do it for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. Right? So when you go to the rule of Imam Ali alayhi salam, you will find that in one of the letters in Nahjul Balagha, he wrote to Uthman bin Hunayf, and he told Uthman bin Hunayf that I have received information that you are going to parties that is organized by the rich people and only for the rich people. And I want you as my governor to desist from such things, right? So we can imagine that the conditions that will be applied to those who are rulers, okay? They will not sit in those positions for their own benefit, but they will be sitting in that position in order to benefit the people over whom they have the rule, and they will benefit for the improvement of the life at that time. And so they will work according to how the Imam guides. But these people will be selfless people. These will be people who will be truly loyal to 12th Imam.
Okay, so 2 questions just came up in my head.
Sure.
Would these people be part of the 313? And the second question is, what would happen to the Murajas and Ayatullahs and those who do their own taqleed? What would happen with them?
Okay, so it is what we say common that during the time of the presence of the Imams, so taking from 1st Imam to 11th Imam, all the scholars, and we have had great scholars, for them their leader was the Imam, right? So automatically these great scholars, rather Maraja, okay, and there could have been many, will immediately do bay'at, pay their allegiance to the Imam because he is the leader, right? No one of them claims that we are the Imam, okay? In the history, and this is something very interesting, maybe a part of a future program you can organize, is to talk about those people who have claimed themselves to be Mahdi. So this proves itself that the belief in Mahdi is not only amongst the followers of Ahlul Bayt, but it's amongst all the Muslims, and how they have done it, okay? So our Maraja will, right? But then you read that hadith also, which I read the hadith in front of you to say that there will be people who during the time of Imam will come and oppose the Imam. Right? Because they have been interpreting the ordinances and the laws of Islam and the teachings of Quran according to their own interpretation, not according to Allah. Okay? So naturally they will face the 12th Imam, and then they will see what is going to happen. Right? Interestingly, there is a hadith that when our 12th Imam will present his program, in the beginning people will turn away. People will turn away.
So would you say the Shias would turn away as well?
I wouldn't discount that.
Okay.
Right? Wouldn't discount that. People will turn away. Okay? But then again, after some time they will return. Why? The hadith says that they were finding a reformer who would bring peace,
Yeah.
you know, serenity, justice, removal of discrimination and all such things. And suddenly 12th Imam comes and says, this is going to be my program. I don't want this program. They will turn it. But then they will find that there is no one else but the Imam who can give us all that we want. So they will slowly return. Okay? Now, these are ahadith. Okay? The actuality is we can sit here and start imagining.
Yeah.
Right? But what will actually happen, we can try to intellectually make a sort of a logical step-by-step program of Imam. But there are so many ahadith in there. What we know is that Imam will come and Imam will establish his rule and justice.
So in regards to the point you just mentioned, people who decline him and then they come back to him, to say there were Shias who did that, would God kind of, not God, but would you say that they weren't proper Shias who believed in God's rulings, that they had to leave and then they had to come back again? Or
regarding who is a proper Shia, okay? Very simple explanation is month of Muharram is coming, inshallah, and we will be remembering Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And Imam Hussein alayhi salam has, if I say done a lot, it is understatement, right? Saved Islam, right? And therefore, whatever we do for Imam Hussein alayhi salam is not enough. We have to do more and more and more. Once there were some companions who told Imam Hussein alayhi salam that we are your Shias. Imam said, don't say that you are Shias. Say that you love me, because I do not see any sign of you being a Shia. Right? So just to say that I am a Shia, right, is not enough. And this is the point. I have tried, the other scholars have also tried, and we put this, right, that a person becomes a follower of Imam by acting according to the teachings of Imam. I cannot follow another ideology and discard what is the teaching of A'immah Tahirin just to say this is okay according to Islam. Right? No. What is it that Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam wants from us? This is there. So people may return. Okay? But remember our Imams, right? They were those who would practice those attributes of Allah. So Allah is Ghaffar. He is, the great forgiver. Okay? And we find in the lives of the previous A'immah Tahirin that you also used to forgive their enemies, those who did wrong to them, and this thing. What were they doing? If you look, they were only following that ayat of the Holy Quran where Allah says, idfa billati hi ahsan. Anyone who does wrong to you, do good to him in return to what wrong they have done. And this is how they used to do, and this is how they would win the followers. Okay? So Imam will come, he will give opportunity and enough opportunity to come to Islam. But if you become an enemy of Islam, and if you harm Islam, then it would be the right of Imam to defend.
So we have like 5 minutes left. This will be the last question for today. Will jinns be part of the 12th Imam's army?
Well, coming to this question about jinn being right, I haven't come at any hadith accordingly, but it could be that they are there. When Allah Azza wa Jal introduces the purpose of the creation of ins and jinn, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Okay? And the Quran also talks about, if you look at Surah Jinn, Quran talks about how some jinns heard about the recitation of the Holy Prophet, right? And they come to the other group, and then they come, let's go and believe in this Prophet, right? So this all explains that the Imam also, like the Prophet is, because Imams are representatives of the Holy Prophet, so like the Imams would be also Imams of Ins and Jinn. And we say this in ziyarah of our 12th Imam, right? Imamul Insi wal Jinn, Imam of the human beings as well as the Jinn. There would be part, maybe, right? But I haven't come across hadith where it is talking about, but it could be there, inshallah.
I think we could also talk about, so you know, Prophet Suleiman, he had jinns with him, and they were whether working with him or they were helping him spread the message.
He had control over them.
Yeah.
He had control over them.
Okay, yeah, that's everything for today. We'd just like to say thank you so much to Mullah for coming and facilitating our Q&A, and it was a really insightful Q&A, and I learned a lot. I hope everybody else did as well. Inshallah, please do follow Al-Hur on Instagram, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We'll be posting more events, and we wish you Kushali Mubarak and Eid al-Qadir, which is coming up soon. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity once again, and I hope, inshallah, as Sister Sayyida has mentioned, that we hope that this has been useful for all the viewers, inshallah. Let us end with dua, and I request you to join me in dua. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma anfa'na bil ilm. O Allah, with the knowledge benefit us. The knowledge we take benefits us, inshallah. Allahumma anfa'na bil ilm wa zayyinna bil hilm, and adorn us with patience, with hilm. وَجَمِّلْنَا بِالْعَافِيَةِ, and beautify us with good health. وَأَكْرِمْنَا بِالتَّقْوَى, and honor us with piety. إِنَّ وَلِيِّيَ اللَّهُ الَّذِي نَزَّلَ الْكِتَابِ, and Allah Azza wa Jal is the wali who revealed the book. وَلِيِّيَ اللَّهُ الَّذِي نَزَّلَ الْكِتَابِ وهو أرحم الراحمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن عليا ولي الله. أشهد أن عليا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. حي على خير العمل. حي على خير العمل. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله وسلم.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك برحمتك التي وسعت كل شيء وبقوتك التي قهرت بها كل شيء وخضع لها كل شيء وذل لها كل شيء وبجبروتك التي غلبت بها كل شيء وبعزتك التي لا يقوم لها شيء وبعظمتك التي ملأت كل شيء وبسلطانك الذي على كل شيء وبوجهك الباقي بعد فناء كل شيء وبأسمائك التي ملأت أركان كل شيء وبعلمك الذي أحاط بكل شيء وبنور وجهك الذي أضاء له كل شيء. يا نور يا قدوس يا أول الأولين ويا آخر الآخرين. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تهتك العصام. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل النقام. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تغير النعام. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحبس الدعاء. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تقطع الرجاء. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل البلاء. اللهم اغفر لي كل ذنب أذنبته وكل خطيئة أخطأتها. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك بذكرك واستشفع بك إلى نفسك وأسألك بجودك أن تدنيني من قربك وأن توزعني شكرك وأن تلهمني ذكرك. اللهم إني أسألك سؤال خاضع متذلل خاشع أن تسامحني وترحمني وتجعلني بقسمك راضيا قانعا وفي جميع الأحوال متواضعا. اللهم وأسألك سؤال من اشتدت فاقته وأنزل بك عند الشدائد حاجته وعظم فيما عندك رغبته. اللهم عظم سلطانك وعلى مكانك وخفي مكرك وظهر أمرك وغلب قهرك وجرت قدرتك ولا يمكن الفرار من حكمتك. اللهم لا أجد لذنوبي غافرا ولا لقباحي ساطرا ولا لشيء من عملي القبيح بالحسن مبدلا غيرك. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك وبحمدك ظلمت نفسي وتجرأت بجهلي وسكنت إلى قديم ذكرك لي ومنك علي. اللهم مولاي كم من قبيح سترتا وكم من فادح من البلاء أقلتا. وكم من عثار وقيتا وكم من مكروه دفعتا وكم من ثناء جميل لست أهلا له نشرتا اللهم أعظم بلائي وعفرة بي سوء حالي وقسرت بي أعمالي وكعدت بي أخلاقي وحبسني عن نفع بعد أملي وخدعتني الدنيا بغرورها ونفسي بجنايتها ومطالي يا سيدي فأسألك بعزتك أن لا يحجب عنك دعائي سوء عملي وفعالي ولا تفضحني بخفي ما اطلعت عليه من سوءي ولا تعاجلني بالعقوبة على ما عملته في خلواتي من سوء فعلي وإساءتي ودوام تفريطي وجهالتي وكثرة شهواتي وغفلتي وكن اللهم بعزتك لي في كل الأحوال رؤوفا وعلي في جميع الأمور عطوفا إلهي وربي من لي غيرك أسأله كشف ضري والنذر في أمري إلهي ومولاي أجريت علي حكما اتبعت فيه هوى نفسي ولم أحترس فيه من تزيين عدوي فغرني بما أهوى واسعده على ذلك القضاء فتجاوزت بما جرى علي من ذلك بعد حدودك وخالفت بعد أوامرك فلك الحمد علي في جميع ذلك ولا حجة لي فيما جرى علي فيه قضاءك وألزمني حكمك وبلاغك وقد أتيتك يا إلهي بعد تقصيري وإسرافي على نفسي معتذرا نادما منكسرا مستقيلا مستغفرا منيبا مقرا مذعنا معترفا لا أجد مفرا مما كان مني ولا مفزعا أتوجه إليه في أمري غير قبولك عذري وإدخالك إياي في سعة من رحمتك اللهم فاقبل عذري وارحم شدة ذنبي وفكني من شدي وساقي يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني ورقة جلدي ودكة عدمي يا من بدا خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي هبني لابتلاء كرمك وصالح برك بي يا إلهي وسيدي وربي أتواك معذبي بنارك بعد توحيدك وبعد ما انتهى عليه قلبي من معرفتك ولهج به لساني من ذكرك واعتقده ضميري من حبك وبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خاضعا لربوبيتك هيهات أن تكرم من أن تضيع من ربيت أو تبعد من أدنيت أو تشرد من آويت أو تسلم إلى البلاء من كفيته ورحمت ألسن نطقت بتوحيدك صادقا وبشكرك ناجحا، وعلى قلوب اعترفت بإلهيتك محققا، وعلى ضمائر حوت من العلم بك حتى صارت خاشعا، وعلى جوارح ساعتنا طال تعبدك طاعا، وشعرت باستغفارك مذعنا. ما هكذا الظن بك ولا أخبرنا بفضلك عنك يا كريم يا رب، وأنت تعلم ضعفي عن قليل من بلاء الدنيا عقوباتها وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها، على أن ذلك بلاء مكروه قليل مكثور يسير بقاء قصير مدته، فكيف احتمال لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها، وهو بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه ولا يخفف عن أهله، لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك، وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض يا سيدي، فكيف لي وأنا عبدك ضعيف فالذليل الحقير المسكين المستكين، يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي، لأي الأمور إليك الشكور، ولما من هذه الجروح وأبكي لأليم العذاب وشدته، عن طول البلاء ومدته، فلئن سيرتني للعقوبات مع أعدائك وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك، فهب لي يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي، صبرت على عذابك فكيف أصبر على فراقك، وهبني يا إلهي صبرت على حر نارك فكيف أصبر عن النذر إلى كرامتك، أم كيف أسكن في النار ورجاء عفوك، فبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا لئن تركتني ناطقا لا للجنة إليك بين أهلها ضجيج الآمنين، ولا أصرخن إليك صراخ المستصرخين، ولا أبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين، ولا أنادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين، يا غاية آمال العارفين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا حبيب قلوب الصادقين، ويا إله العالمين، أفتراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم سجن فيها بمخالفته، وذاق طعم عذابها بمعصيته، وحبس بين أطباقها بجرمه وجلدته، وهو يذج إليك ذجيج مؤمل لرحمتك، ويناديك بلسان أهل توحيدك، ويتوسل عليك بربوبيتك، يا مولاي فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك، أم كيف تؤلمه النار وهو يأمل فضلك ورحمتك، أم كيف يحرقه لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوته وترى مكانه أم كيف يشتمل عليه سفينها وأنت تعلم ضعفها أم كيف يتقلقل بين أطباقها وأنت تعلم صدقا أم كيف تسجله زبانيتها وهو يناديك يا رباه أم كيف يرجو فضلك في عتقه منها فتتركه فيها هيهات ما ذلك الذنب ولا المعروف من فضلك ولا مشبح لما عاملت به الموحدين من برك وإحسانك فباليقين يقطع لولا ما حكمته به من تعذيب جاحدك وقضيت به من إخلاد معاندك لجعلت النار كلها بردا وسلاما وما كان لأحد فيها مكرا ولا مقاما لكنك تقدست أسماؤك أقسمت أن تملاها من الكافرين من الجنة والناس أجمعين وأن تخلد فيها المعاندين وأن تجل ثناؤك قلت مبتدئا وتطولت بالعنآن متكرما أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون إلهي وسيدي فأسألك بالقدرة التي قدرتها وبالقضية التي حكمتها وحكمتها وغلبت من عليه أجريتها أن تهب لي في هذه الليلة وفي هذه الساعة كل جرم أجرمته وكل ذنب أذنبته وكل قبيح أسررته وكل جهل عملته كتمته وأعلنته أخفيته وأظهرته وكل سيئة نبرت بإثباتها الكرام الكاتبين الذين وكلتهم بحفظ ما يكون مني وجعلتهم شهودا علي مع جاره وكنت أنت الرقيب علي من ورائهم والشاهد لما خفي عنهم وبرحمتك خفيت وبفضلك سترت وأن توفر حظي من كل خير أنزلت أو إحسان فذلت أو بر نشرت أو رزق بسطت أو ذنب تغفره أو خطأ تستره يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا إلهي وبحمدك وسيدي ومولاي ومالك رزقي يا من بيده ناصيتي يا عليما بضري ومسكنتي يا خبيرا بفقري وفاقتي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب أسألك بحقك وقدسك وعظم صفاتك وأسمائك أن تجعل أوقاتي من الليل والنهار بذكرك معمورا وبخدمتك موصولا وأعمالي عندك مقبولا حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها وردا واحدا وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا يا سيدي يا من عليه معولي يا من إليه شكوت أحوالي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب والجد في خشيتك والدوام في الاتصال بخدمتك حتى أصلح إليك في ميادين السابقين وأسرع إليك في البارزين واشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين وأدنو منك ذنوب المخلصين وأخافك مخافة الموقنين واجتمع في جوارك مع المؤمنين. اللهم ومن أرادني بسوء فارد ومن كادني فكيد واجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نسيبا عندك وأقربهم منزلة منك وخسهم زلفة لديك فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضله وجدني بجودك وعطف علي بمجدك واحفظني برحمتك واجعل لساني بذكرك لهجا وقلبي بحبك متيما ومن علي بحسن إجابتك وقلني عثرتي واغفر زلتي فإنك قضيت على عبادك بعبادتك وأمرتهم بدعائك وضمنت لهم الإجابة. فإليك يا ربي نسبت وجهي وإليك يا ربي مددت يدي فبعزتك استجب لي دعائي وبلغني منايا ولا تقطع من فضلك رجائي واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي. يا سريع الرضا اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء فإنك فعال لما تشاء. يا من اسمه دواء وذكره شفاء وطاعته غنى ارحم من رأس ماله الرجاء وسلاح البكاء. يا سابغ النعم يا دافع النكاب يا نور المستوحشين في الظلام يا عالما لا يعلم صل على محمد وآل محمد وافعل بما أنت أهله وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد رحمه الله من كتاب الفاتحة.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفوة الله السلام عليك يا وارث نوح نبي الله السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله السلام عليك يا وارث أمير المؤمنين ولي الله السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور. أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر وأطعت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين. فلعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأسلاب الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة، لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبسك مثل همة ثيابها. وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين. وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرضي الزكي الهادي المهدي. وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وأعلام الهدى والعروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا. وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسوله أني بكم مؤمن وبإيابكم موقن بشرائع ديني وخواتيم عملي وقلبي لقلبكم مسلم وأمري لأمركم متبع. صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. زيارة جناب حضرت الأكبر عليه السلام. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن نبي الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين الشهيد. السلام عليك أيها الشهيد وابن الشهيد. السلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم. لعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. زيارة شهداء كربلاء. السلام عليك يا أولياء الله وأحباء. السلام عليكم يا أصفياء الله وأوداءه. السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار رسول الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي محمد الحسن بن علي الزكي الناصر الأمين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله. بأبي أنتم وأمي طبتم وطابت الأرض التي فيها دفنتم وفزتم فوزا عظيما. فيا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. زيارة حضرة عباس عليه السلام. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك أيها العبد الصالح المطيع لله ولرسوله. واشهد أنك قد جاهدت ونسحت وصبرت حتى أتاك اليقين. لعن الله الظالمين لكم من الأولين والآخرين والحقهم بدرك الجحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء. السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء. السلام عليك يا مغيث الشيات والزوار في يوم الجزاء. السلام عليك يا شمس الشموس. السلام عليك يا أنيس النفوس. السلام عليك يا أيها المدفون بأرض طوس. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب العصر والزمان، سيدي الأمان من فتنة الزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك، وجعلنا من أنصارك وأعوانك، ورحمة الله وبركاته.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم واحشرنا معهم ولعن الأعداء أجمعين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا رحمن يا رحيم، عظم الله أجورنا بمصابنا الحسين عليه السلام. أذور بك يا أبا عبد الله من ناحيتي ومن ناحية والديني ومن ناحية من التمس بالدعاء ووجب علينا قربة لله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا خيرة الله وابن خيرته. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوسيل. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور. السلام عليك وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار. يا أبا عبد الله، لقد عظمت الرذية وجلت وعزمت المصيبة بك علينا وعلى جميع أهل الإسلام. وجلت وعزمت مصيبتك في السماوات على جميع أهل السماوات. فلعن الله أمة أسست ذات الظلم والجور عليكم أهل البيت. ولعن الله أمة دفعتكم عن مقامكم وأذالتكم عن مراتبكم التي رتبكم الله فيها. ولعن الله أمة قتلت قتلتكم، ولعن الله الموحدين لهم بالتمكين من قتالكم. بريت إلى الله وإليكم منهم ومن أشيائهم وأتباعهم وأوليائهم. يا أبا عبد الله، يا أبا عبد الله، يا أبا عبد الله، إني سلم لمن سالمكم، وحرب لمن حاربكم إلى يوم القيامة. ولعن الله آل زياد وآل مروان، ولعن الله بني أمية قاتبا، ولعن الله ابن مرجانة، ولعن الله عمر بن سعد، ولعن الله شمرا، ولعن الله أمة أسرجت وألجمت وتنقبت لقتالك. بأبي أنت وأمي لقد عظم مصابي بك، فأسأل الله الذي أكرم مقامك وأكرمني بك أن يرزقني طلب فارك مع إمام منصور من أهل بيت محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم اجعلني عندك وجيها بالحسين عليه السلام في الدنيا والآخرة. يا أبا عبد الله، إني أتقرب إلى الله وإلى رسوله وإلى أمير المؤمنين وإلى الفاطمة وإلى الحسن وإليك بموالاتك وبالبراءة ممن قاتلك ونسب لك الحرب، وبالبراءة ممن عزز عذاب الظلم والجور عليكم، وأبره إلى الله وإلى رسوله ممن عزز ذلك وبنى عليه بنيانا وجرى في ظلمه وجوره عليكم وعلى أشيائكم. برئت إلى الله وإليكم منهم وأتقرب إلى الله ثم إليكم بموالاتكم وموالاة وليكم وبالبراءة من أعدائكم والناصبين لكم الحرب، وبالبراءة من أشيائهم وأتباعهم. إني سلم لمن سالمكم وحرب لمن حاربكم وولي لمن والاكم وعدو لمن عاداكم. فأسأل الله الذي أكرمني بمعرفتكم ومعرفة أوليائكم ورزقني البراءة من أعدائكم أن يجعلني معكم في الدنيا والآخرة، وأن يثبتني عندكم قدم صدق في الدنيا والآخرة، وأسأله أن يبلغنا المقام المحمود لكم عند الله، وأن يرزقني طلب أذواركم مع إمام هدى مهدي ظاهر ناطق بالحق منكم، وأسأل الله بحقكم وبالشأن الذي لكم عنده أن يعطيني بمصابيبكم أفضل ما يعطي مصابا بمصيبة، مصيبة ما أعظمها وأعظم رضية في الإسلام وفي جميع السماوات والأرض. اللهم اجعلني في مقامي هذا ممن تناله منك صلواته ورحمته ومغفرة. اللهم اجعل محياي محيا محمد وآل محمد، ومماتي ممات محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إن هذا يوم تبركت بي بنو أمية وابناكلة الأجباد، اللعين ابن اللعين على لسانك ولسان نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله في كل موطن وموقف وقف فيه نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم لعن أبا سفيان ومعاوية ويزيد بن معاوية عليهم منك اللعنة أبدا العابدين. وهذا يوم فرد به آل زياد وآل مروان بقتلهم الحسين صلوات الله عليه. اللهم فضاعف عليهم اللعن منك والعذاب العليم. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك في هذا اليوم وفي موقفي هذا وأيام حياتي بالبراءة منهم واللعنة عليهم وبالموالاة لنبيك وآل نبيك عليه وعليهم السلام. اللهم لعن أول ظالم ظلم حق محمد وآل محمد وآخر تابع له على ذلك. اللهم لعن الإصابة التي جادت الحسين وشايد وبايد وتابعت على قتله. اللهم لعنهم جميعا وتقبل منا ما تمرى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بثنائك. عليك مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي ابن الحسين وعلى الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وتقبل منا ما تبرأ. اللهم خذ أنت أول ظالم باللعنة مني وابدأ بي أولا ثم لعن الثاني والثالث والرابع. اللهم لعن يزيد خامسا ولعن عبيد الله بن زياد وابن مرجان وعمر بن سعد وشمران وآل أبي سفيان وآل زياد وآل مروان إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم لك الحمد حمد الشاكرين، لك المصابين. الحمد لله على عظيم رضيتي. اللهم ارزقنا شفاعة الحسين يوم الورود وثبت لي قدما صدقا عندك مع الحسين واصحاب الحسين عليه السلام الذين بذلوا وجههم دون الحسين عليه السلام. وتقبل منا ومن مجمعنا بأحسن قبولك ووصل ثواب هذه الزيارة بروح أمواتنا وأموات جميع المؤمنين بجاه محمد وآل الطاهرين.